Whoa! This is incredible, Van! I can't believe this is where we get to work now!
Of course. Only the best of Whitfield Entertainment Group.
Is that a breakfast buffet?
Yes. The finest breakfast from around the world.
Oh, selling out never tasted so good. Oh.
So about your YouTube channel, I was thinking you could do a podcast, maybe to get some more regular content on it.
Nah, dude, doesn't like everyone try and start a podcast after they get a little bit of e-fame?
I see. Delightful. Wouldn't want ScumHouse to fit into the norm now, would we? I know how you little artist types are. You want to be different. You want to be unique.
Yeah, it's just about the art, man.
Well, even great artists need to unwind. Have I shown you the rumpus room yet?
What the fuck?
Oh.
Shaggy, what are you doing here all tied up like
Oh my god,
this?
Shaggy, are you okay? You're all tied up.
Shaggy, what did you do?
Oh no, who could have done this?
Wait! Don't let him close the door! Great. Flipping fantastic, bro. Van told me that we were trapped in here until we recorded a podcast.
We're trapped! Oh! Let me out! Let me out!
I don't know what the fuck that's about.
Wait, do you guys hear that? It's getting louder.
Oh god! Oh my god, no! It's lo-fi hip-hop beats!
Well, I guess we're recording a podcast. Introductions, I'm Hannah. Stuck here with me in this basement is Shaggy,
Hello.
Cooper,
Uh-huh.
and Arnold.
Let me out!
I know what you guys are thinking. What the fuck is going on? Well, we have partnered with a production company called Whitfield Entertainment Group, run by a lovely man named Van Whitfield.
We're not being forced
We're
to
not
say
being
this.
forced to say this. We love Van. We love Whitfield Entertainment Group. We love WEG.
We haven't sold out.
Wait, guys, can you speak up? I can't hear you over all this money that I'm holding on to.
We are not selling out.
We're still independent. We're still independent.
We're still independent. We are still ScumHouse. We're still
Making our
very
stuff.
much
Making Satina.
little boys, little fish in a big old pond, and we're still working on our own stuff. But we are partnered with this wonderful production company that will help us make more stuff, get our names out there, and in turn, we will help them with their projects. So it's kind of a win-win type situation for everyone.
Like it's a partnership rather than us being acquired by another studio.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, they're providing us with such amazing opportunities that we
Yeah.
never really expected to be having at this level in our careers.
That's
So
incredible.
We kind of expected to still be working out of a basement for the next 5 years, but
We've moved to a bigger, dingier basement. Me and Arnold no longer have to share a newspaper to piss on. Like, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Now we
Hey,
all have
yeah.
a really big tarp that we all just collectively piss on.
I'm so sick of you guys. I'm cutting all of this out.
You're not cutting any of this. You're not cutting any of this.
Please do not. Shaggy, I'll kill you. I'll throttle you.
We're not going to talk about shitting on the ground in the beginning of our podcast when we're announcing the partnership with an actual production company. We're not, I just want a semblance of professionalism, and it just falls by the wayside every single time I try and do anything.
Shaggy, we are not professional people. We're just a bunch of smart schmucks in a basement.
What is the point of this podcast?
The point of this podcast is to give you all updates on what we're doing. We don't want to keep you guys in the dark. We want to update you on the projects that we're working on, whether it's for WEG Studios or whether it's for ScumHouse. We want to inform everyone and also just entertain you guys.
And to genuinely get some more regular content on our channel.
We had an epiphany lately. We realized nobody comes here for our stupid cartoons. We realized people come here for us.
Yeah.
Our personalities are what really shine through.
We're e-famous now. We're influencers. Let me tell you what's on the docket. We got Loot Crate. We got Audible. We got fuckingmachines.com.
The newest thing in gay technology.
We're the worst podcast hosts ever. This is the worst stuff to put on the podcast.
Wait, guys, hang
Yeah,
on.
hold on.
I'm getting a text message from Van.
Oh my god, Van Whitfield has Hans van Haken, the voice of David Horowitz of Satina. He's got him hostage. And he says he's only going to release them unless Hannah and I interview Maurice LaMarche.
Wait, who's Maurice LaMarche?
You know, he's that famous impressionist.
Yogi, I don't think the Ranger's gonna like this.
Well, fuck the Ranger, boo-boo. I'm smarter than the average Ben, yeah.
He ended up doing the voice for Brain from Pinky and the Brain. I mean, he was the voice of Egon Spengler from Ghostbusters for Arnold, not that Ghostbusters. Arnold, that's the 2016. No, the real Ghostbusters. No, Arnold, not the original. The real. Yeah, there we go. The cartoon show, the real Ghostbusters. He was the voice of Egon Spengler.
Wait. The Maurice LaMarche? Arnold, are you hearing this?
dude,
Dude, I love that guy. I love the real Ghostbusters.
Hey, Arnold, get off me, Arnold, get off me! Get off me!
Guys, are you okay?
Oh my god, they're unconscious. Oh god, Maurice and Hans are gone.
Alright, let's try to be professional in front of these guys.
Okay, cool. What I always find so interesting about voice actors is that you never really know, up until someone literally shows you a photo of who they are, just how much of a fan of someone you are. Because I had no idea about the range that you had worked on. I mean, Hannah introduced me to The Critic last year because we used the backgrounds in that show as a reference for the backgrounds we wanted to make in our show. And I remember falling in love with that show, and the Orson Welles bits were always my favorite. That stuff always stood out to me, and I never linked it to being
frozen piggies, full of country goodness and green penis.
Oh, that's great.
We ended up, because Mark, who is the gentleman we're now in association with this whole endeavor that we're going into, he pointed out, like, oh, I actually know Maurice, and he's the one who set up this meeting. And Hannah and I thought, okay, well, let's actually do a deep dive on you and discover, like, what else you've worked on. Apparently, there's an episode of The Critic where you voiced over 30 characters in it.
I think that's Dr. J, or it might be LAJ. I did a lot of characters in both of those episodes. And then the clip episode, I think, you can't really count it because it's a bunch of clips, but I think I played the clip episode a few months ago and counted every time I came on screen. I think it was 36. But you can't count it because they were all pre-existing things. But
oh yeah, because a clip show is when they would like splice together all the bits from the older ones, right?
Yeah, I can't believe it's a clip show, I think they called it.
Cool.
And we were fully expecting to come back for a third season, otherwise we wouldn't have had that be our finale. But it was just meant to be kind of a placeholder. The first episode of season 3 was actually already written by Mike and Al, and it was going to be called Single Jewish Film Critic. And Jay takes a roommate to cut expenses, and the roommate slowly becomes him.
Oh God.
Starts out as a very different guy. I was going to play the roommate and just use my regular voice, and then slowly morph into Jay. And then, of course, like as in Single White Female, then I have to get rid of Jay so that I can be Jay.
Does that mean you have a good John Lovitz voice in you?
Yeah, I used to. I used to tease him, but I also, in season 2, John went off to Utah to make City Slickers 2. So I table read the scripts playing Jay and did the temp lines.
Oh my
God. So yeah, John always had a kind of, we had a running gag of don't get too comfortable, Maurice, that kind of thing. Well, I'm the critic. Hello. Yeah, I'm the Fractions. I give a movie my highest rating, 2.5 stars.
You get the cadence perfectly.
His voice was, his job was in peril by the sounds of things.
Believe me, the part is John's forever, and he's so brilliant, and I'm such a big fan to this day. Yeah, it's still, I count it as one of the happiest working experiences of my career, working on The Critic. We just had so much damn fun.
It seemed like everyone on that show just really loved what they were doing because it bled through into everything, into the animation of the characters, the voice acting, even the backgrounds all had like a sense of humor to them.
It's one of the great regrets of my career that we never got to take that show and have it be on the air for years. And every now and again I see Mike and Al, and we talked about, like, if we were to bring back The Critic, what would he be now? There are no TV critic shows.
Yeah.
Would he have a vlog? Would he be?
It'd be like a YouTube
channel
or something, maybe.
And you take away all that.
The Critic making his own YouTube channel is kind of interesting, though, to be honest.
Well,
that would be really fun.
Okay, where's Duke? Where's Doris? And of
That's
course,
true.
Those actors are gone. Those wonderful, wonderful people.
Hey, but it captured a little window of time, though, I feel. Like, it was a perfect, like...
It's kind of like a love letter to the culture of the 90s. And
yeah, absolutely. It was perfect as is. I just wish we could have done 5 seasons.
Rather it end too soon than end too late.
Yeah.
Always. Yes, that was Seinfeld's directive on Seinfeld.
That was they played
would have
that,
gone another
that well.
season, but he felt they were out of shows. They were out of that.
But you just mentioned now you can never get an impression 100%. But some of the roles that you've taken on have been you having to slip into the shoes of someone else. You did Egon Spengler in the real Ghostbusters, and then that was you, Harry Ramis.
Harold, yeah.
Harold Ramis, yeah.
Oddly enough, the only Ghostbuster I never met. I did not get to meet him.
That's so strange.
And he acted on a couple of occasions. Ernie Hudson and I do a whole bunch of Comic-Cons together. And I pranked Bill Murray. Nobody filmed it, unfortunately, but I was on a show called DC Follies by Sid and Marty Krofft, and we had these life-size puppets of celebrities. And so we went over to Bill Murray. He was filming Scrooged on the next soundstage. We pranked him with the Rodney puppet. Just came around his chair and, hey, Bill, how you doing, man? You still owe me money, okay? All right, I tell you, I'm all right now. Last week I was in rough shape, you know. Yeah, last week I went to bed with an inflatable girl. Now I got an inflatable guy looking for me. No respect at all. Are you kidding me? You know.
I had a question about, because you do a lot of great like impressions of characters and celebrities and actors and stuff. Do you have any voices where you kind of like have based on friends or family or people you know in real life?
I tried to bring in one of my very first people I ever knocked off or did an impression of was my 8th grade teacher, a guy named Rob Fraser, who I'm still in touch with. He had a sort of a nasal voice like this, and I always thought that he was a terrific character, and he called me Moritz. Moritz, I've always wondered if we came pre-installed with a button, no brains on the wall or anything like that, just a button and it's over. Would we push the button, Moritz? How many of us would actually push the button? The button, Moritz. The button. And it became a running gag with us. The button.
Oh my God.
Which is a deeply philosophical and somewhat dark thing to discuss with somebody like that, right? So anyway, I've always wanted to put Rob Fraser somewhere in my repertoire, but it's never fit anywhere.
How much like creative control does like a voice actor of your standing actually get when he gets brought onto a project? Do people already go, oh, he does a great Orwell impression, let's get him to do a variation of that? Or like,
well, it's just if they've got a very preconceived notion of what they want. I mean, obviously, if you're replacing Mickey Mouse, you can't do your own thing with it.
Yeah, that's true.
The Brain, they didn't have Orson Welles in mind for The Brain.
Really?
No.
That was, wow, you brought that to the table.
Brain was based physically on a writer named Tom Minton. And he does have a furrowed brow and kind of pouchy cheeks, but Tom talks like this. I think with Pinky the Brain, the thing that made the most popular was the fact that it was my voice. My voice was like this, and if I was to Maurice LaMarche tried to imitate me, they would have sent him home. And Minton is actually one of those high IQ guys who knows a lot about a lot of stuff, but he talks in a rat-a-tat-tat-tat monotone. So I looked at that furrowed brow and those pouchy cheeks and saw Orson Welles. And so when I went in, first thing came out of my mouth, they cast me on the spot with just that one audition. Wow. And it took them 2 days to find Pinky. And Rob Paulson. And Rob and I have worked together on several other things and always enjoyed each other. But for us to get this chance to play these two guys have carried it on for 6 seasons and now the new season of the reboot. It's just it's one of those great gifts the industry gives you.
You've obviously worked on a lot of different projects with a lot of different people, and you've had this really long run. You started in the 80s. So when did it first sink in that you're a celebrity? Like you just kind of like look at yourself and be like, oh wow, I'm famous. Did that ever really hit you?
Still doesn't.
Yeah, that's
when
what I
you
thought.
say it, I go no.
Yeah,
I'm not famous. The characters are famous, maybe. Nobody knows it.
Oh, that's an interesting way of phrasing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I accept that Brain is famous. I accept that the YouTube clip of Orson Welles and the Rosebud Frozen Peas has got more than 1 million views. That I accept. But the idea that anybody stops me in the street, which happens once in a while, somebody who's dialed into animation, or what I get a lot is when I pay for something and they get the credit card and they look at especially at the Apple Store. It's happened more time at the Apple Store because those are my people.
Interesting.
Those are my nerds. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Your little genius
credit card
nerds.
and they see the name and they go, "Are you that Maurice LaMarche?" And I go, "Yes, my young friend. When I take over the world, I must silence you." So
That
That's
is
all.
honestly the level of fame that I hope to achieve one day, where people recognize my accomplishments more than me.
I will say that as to have the work stand on its own and be the famous thing is gratifying, and yet still be able to enjoy my meal in a restaurant. Because I've got some celebrity pals, that we all started out together and we were all not known together, and then suddenly the rocket pack is strapped to the back of one of their careers, and the next thing you know, we were it's 3 or 4 interruptions per meal. For autographs.
And then I imagine that it would like force people to become a little more reclusive than they would like to.
You got a little less. Well, I'll tell you Lovitz. I mean, Lovitz, I remember after one of the early recording sessions of The Critic, Lovitz and I just decided to go grab a burger at a place in Westwood, and we went and grabbed a burger in the evening. And we had 2 different times where the same family sent over different members of the family to get his autograph. And when the 3-year-old girl came over, as adorable as it was, he was like, "She doesn't know who I am. I'm signing anything for her." And he goes, "You still want fame, Maurice? Well, smell." So,
Oh God. Yeah, it's the culture is really strange. Celebrity culture is just kind of awful because there's so many people that don't respect people's boundaries, and they don't really see celebrities as people. They just see them as like a thing, the object of their desires. They don't really think about, oh, what if they just want to go to a restaurant? What if they just want to enjoy their lives?
Yeah. You guys. I can look at each one of you guys and say, one day you'll look back on the day you made this cartoon, this pilot, and you won't feel, even in 30 years, that the way you won't feel about yourself the way other people will look at you, because they will look at you and go, "Wow, they're the guys that created the thing that became that thing, and oh my gosh, Hannah and Harris and Shaggy, oh man, you're my favorite," and you're gonna go,
"Why?
I'm just doing what got me in trouble, and got me sent to the principal's office."
That's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
Oh, God. I found a way to get them to pay me for it.
I used to impersonate my teachers all the time.
Right.
It got me into trouble.
Yeah, I was going through some of your old stand-up, funnily enough, like on the Rodney Dangerfield introducing you, and
yes, I was young once too.
You are an expert at using the solitary fuck.
I was very proud of the fact that I had one fuck in my act, and that was it.
No, but that's what made it so good, and it was during your Yogi Bear impression of all things.
Yes, the least expected
place for it.
I took
effective.
No,
you couldn't give 2 fucks, honestly, and that's what I liked about it.
Exactly.
Was that because you were only allowed one? Because I mean, that was filmed, so I imagine it was televised.
It was HBO. You could use as many fucks as you wanted. I just wanted to work clean, and I thought the one little tiny, like that painting that's got one red dot in the middle of it. The eye goes to it.
But the red is earned.
Oh, fuck the Ranger, boo-boo. I'm smarter than the average bear. Yay!
We have the exact same mentality with the cartoon that we made, because we wanted it to be completely clean. We received one of the most amazing takes from one of the voice actors, one of the extras. He did one line, and he goes, "I fucking love beer." And when Hannah and I heard that, we thought we were like, we have to put this in. We never wanted to have swear words, and then the thing is, we beeped it, and when we beeped it, it made it even funnier for us. Because it was the only swear word in the entire cartoon, and we beeped it out, and it was a character that was off screen who was walking away. It was so jarring and funny.
Yeah, you guys even like animated the fact, like, so he walked off the microphone, and then the character walks off as well. So like it fits.
Like so it sounds, you hear him like walking away, and you hear him dropping the F-bomb just so casually, and we thought it was so funny. And then when I saw the thing yesterday, I was like, this guy gets it. The one solitary fuck is just it's so much funnier than just using it over and over again.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that. I think you are the only person ever to pay me that compliment. I've waited since 1985.
Oh, that's made my day, honestly.
Just in time. I feel like in the earlier days, maybe like around, like what era are we talking here when you were doing your stand-up? Like,
I did stand-up from 1977 to 1987.
Because I feel like during the 80s especially, there was a lot of like really like wild out there acts on stage, and like there's this sort of embrace for this like absurdist and wackiness. I think that you don't quite get that as much on stage. Like, you know what I mean? Like Pee Wee Herman, I think, started off as well as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, well, no, he was always, I think Paul was always a performance artist. I don't think he ever stood there and just did his act. He came out of the Groundlings, and Pee-wee was a character. He always did it as a sort of a Twisted Kids show, and then built a cast around it. But I mean, I came up with Howie Mandel. I mean, he and I we went to high school together without meeting.
Oh, wow.
That's the weird part. But we met in Canada at Yuck Yucks in 1977. And that was kind of the beginning of Canadian stand-up comedy. You know, we just slipped into the American scene. But Howie was the first guy ever to, I mean, he took the absurdist, wacky stuff that Steve Martin was doing and went even further with it. I mean, the handbag, the surgical glove over the top of his head, the diaper, you know, being a baby. I mean, he would drop his pants, take off his shirt, put on a bonnet, and hold a teddy bear and stand there for 10 minutes doing this baby bit. And never stepping out of his pants and then pulling them up and going off stage. So yeah, it was a time of absolute nuttiness, and people were trying new things. It was still to be part of that kind of vanguard of this new kind of comedy. And then of course Seinfeld, he started out at the same time in New York. We were all at the store together, and to watch this guy who sort of refined and perfected the observational monologue. Nobody worked as much on that as Jerry did, because I would watch and I would, want to chat with him after he came off. And by the way, I was the first guy ever to do him. He told me that. He goes, nobody's ever done me before. Because Harris Pete, our doorman, grabbed him once and said, hey, Seinfeld, this guy does you. Go ahead, do him. I was like, Bob Hughes, fattest man in the world. This guy could lose 300-400 pounds, not even make a dent. And he goes, no, that's good. Nobody's ever done me before. And I was like, I like this guy. I want to be his friend. And Aston and I.
Maury.
He's frozen.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
No, it's okay.
Oh, my God.
There we go. Voila.
Well, that took some doing. I had to restart my whole house's internet connection.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. Well, glad to have you back. We thought that a meteorite had landed on you or something. You just kind of vanished.
The weird part was, I was telling this long story, and your faces were frozen, and I thought, wow, they seem really interested.
We're just entranced.
And then I realized, I felt like I was in an episode of Bewitched where, Endora freezes everybody, and I'm Darren, and I'm still walking around going, Larry?
Do you want to continue the story you were telling?
I can't remember it.
All right.
Cool. Hannah's been dying. There's a specific question Hannah's been dying to ask you.
Yeah. Let me pull it up now. Yeah, you're an impressionist. We all know that. What's an impression that you really love doing for people? Like whenever people ask you, whenever they find out that you're an impressionist, and they're like, "Oh, can you do this voice? Can you do this voice?" What's something you really love doing to people?
I love doing Bill Shatner.
So
can you elaborate why? Yeah.
He's just
he has such a specific way.
I think I do him fairly well.
Yeah,
and I think there's something personal in it as well. I met William Shatner for the first time 11 times. He never remembers me.
Oh my God!
No matter how many times I go up and say hello to him at Comic-Cons, or I'm introduced to him by his own agent. It's always the first time for Bill. I just
11 times.
Nothing locks in with him vis-a-vis me. I don't know what.
Wow.
So I think I kind of enjoy, it's like my little way of tormenting him without even knowing it, by doing him on The Critic or in Star Trek, Star Trek as part of Animaniacs. Mm-hmm. Anytime I can get away with doing Shatner.
We'll let him know. That. You guys should let him know that when you have Shatner on.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
We're going to interview.
When we get, because this podcast is just going to take off.
It's going to be the hottest thing since sliced bread.
He's being nice enough to be a guest on our podcast, and we're denigrating our own podcast. I'm just thinking, if they're not going to think it's going to work, why am I here?
You know what? Mark Blutman believes in you, and that's good enough for me.
Oh, wow.
That's good enough for me, too.
Yeah. He actually suggested that we give you some stuff to read in your voices. And there's something that I haven't spoken to Hannah about this, so she's probably, I don't know, but I really want him to read the Navy SEAL copy pasta in Brain's voice.
Oh God.
All right, this is Orson Welles. Orson Welles as the Navy SEAL guy. What the fuck did you just fucking say about me, you little bitch? I'll have you know I graduated top of my class in the Navy SEALs, and I've been involved in numerous secret raids on Al-Qaeda, and I have over 300 confirmed kills. I'm trained in guerrilla warfare, and I am the top sniper in the entire U.S. Armed Forces. You're nothing to me but just another target. I will wipe you the fuck out with precision, the likes of which has never been seen before on this earth. Mark my fucking words. You think you can get away with saying that shit to me over the internet? Think again, fucker. As we speak, I'm contacting my secret network of spies across the USA, and your IP is being traced, so you'd better prepare for the storm, maggot. The storm that wipes out the pathetic little thing you call your life. You're fucking dead, kid. I can be anywhere, anytime, and I can kill you in over 700 ways. And that's just with my bare hands. Not only am I extremely trained in unarmed combat, but I have access to the entire arsenal of the United States Marine Corps. And I will use it to its full extent to wipe your miserable ass off the face of the continent. You little shit. If only you could have known what unholy retribution your little clever comment is about to bring down upon you. Maybe you would have held your fucking tongue, but you couldn't. You didn't. And now you're paying the price, you goddamned idiot. I will shit fury all over you, and you will drown in it. You're fucking dead, kiddo.
This is the greatest fucking thing I've ever fucking done in my life!
Oh my god! You actually managed to make it like threatening.
Oh my god, you turned the biggest.
Did Hannah? I think I saw Hannah slide off her chair.
Yeah,
You tried so hard not to laugh and interrupt you.
Look, we're trying so hard not to interrupt that. That is cool.
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
Hannah, we need to animate that.
I was just thinking that. I really
Oh my god. Maurice, that was absolutely perfect. Oh my god.
Flawless.
So glad you enjoyed.
Oh my god.
Years and years of the Actors Theatre. The Royal Shakespeare Company.
How do you feel that like your entire career has led up to this one moment right here?
You know what? As I was reading, I was going, this thing could go viral. This could become
I think so.
a thing.
Hannah, I would absolutely love to animate Brain like just holding Pinky and just saying this to him. His wide bloodshot eyes. Or Orson Welles, just like
Wells.
his ice cream.
Great.
With the reboot coming out, I don't want Mr. Spielberg to even be mildly annoyed with me.
Yeah, you don't want Spielberg on your ass.
No, we'll do it as
funny with Wells.
Yeah,
this
man.
is gold. Orson Welles must say this.
He has to.
Oh my god, you just reminded me that Steven Spielberg was the creator of Animaniacs.
Steven gave the directive to create Animaniacs. Mm-hmm. Tom Ruegger really, and the team of Peter Hastings and Sherry Stoner and Paul Rugg, God, I know I'm forgetting some people. They really were the creators of Animaniacs. I think Steven probably just said, okay, let's create a universe outside of Tiny Toons, all original characters, just base it on, he might have come up with the idea of Yakko, Wacko, and Dom. I'm not sure. Ruegger really and team really need to get full credit for creating those characters.
With the reboot, are they bringing back Freakazoid?
In the reboot, it might be little cameo shots, but to my knowledge, the Good Feathers aren't in it. Mindy and Buttons. The new team, led by Wellesley Wild, who's brilliant and just got a big deal to create so much content for HBO Max and Warner Brothers, animated content. He really wanted to put his own stamp on it. So there's a bunch of new little interstitials and sketches that'll be in the new Animaniacs.
Oh, okay.
That will take the place of those other things. New characters, new blackouts, new vignettes. Pinky the Brain and Yakko, Wacko, and Dom, the things that really survived from the original Animaniacs, and the rest is all new. It'll be populated by a whole new universe.
Interesting.
I'm excited to see the new stuff they do, but Freakazoid was always my personal favorite out of all of those. Just because I felt like
it's very personal to Paul as well. I mean, Freakazoid was his persona. That's
oh really?
That's a side to Paul that
it was kind of Deadpool before Deadpool was a thing. If you think about it, it was this
really
fourth wall.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm sure that Deadpool owes a little bit of a debt.
There's a tiny part of me that always imagined, like, one day when I'm really successful, I'll use my clout or whatever to be able to work on Freakazoid again. Because that was one of the cartoons that just kind of stuck with me.
The entire 90s Warner Brothers television library is available on the Hulu service here in the States. I don't know if Shaggy, if you got it down in...
We barely just got Netflix, so...
Okay.
They don't have Amazon.
Hans and Hannah, you can enjoy.
I can enjoy it. Yeah.
All of the Freakazoid.
We're spoiled here.
Yeah.
You must be... Like, if you ever have a personal problem with someone, and you have those arguments in the shower, you can just wreck them, give them the stupidest voice possible when you're doing those arguments with yourself. What a super...
No, I bring them in the shower with me.
Right, yeah. That's the only way
argument in the shower, I actually get my enemies wet and naked, and then yell at them.
What a power move.
That's when they're at their most vulnerable, of course. When they're wet.
Yeah.
Yes. They lose their powers.
I do this thing, I'm far too in my own head to be good at small talk and whatnot. So whenever I'm forced to go into like the DMV to like renew my license or get like a haircut, if the hairdresser starts talking to me, I always try and make fun of
terrible
myself.
haircuts. Shaggy, that's the answer. Stop going to the DMV for haircuts.
I'm just saying to pass the time.
What the fuck, Shaggy?
That's not what I meant.
Come on.
He has a point, you know.
If I go to the hairdresser to pass the time, if they make small talk with me, I'll start just making shit up about myself. I'll be like, oh, I'm actually a famous actor. I'm in South Africa to do like a movie and stuff like that. And they go, oh, what's the movie? And I go like, Eternal Kick or something like that. And but I just try and make stuff up because it's funny for me. And being able to, I just imagine going into the DMV and just all of a sudden I'm Irish or I'm Orson Welles and I'm just talking to people. Oh, I would love to just be able to just have this like catalog of voices just to make that even just more. But it's bitten me in the ass before. I'll sit down and they go, okay, so how was the movie? You're back. And I go, what the fuck are you talking about?
What a tangled web we weave when once we practice.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I've had fun with voices. When I was first starting out, I couldn't get arrested as a waiter. Everybody has their day job, you know, but they saw me coming as a klutz, and I could not get a waiter job. So my day job, when I first started trying to, break into the business, was telephone sales. So I was a telemarketer.
Oh my god!
So I would call people up as, Tony Curtis and try to sell them pens and office supplies, which is wonderful. These are marvelous pens. You would love them. Order 5 gross.
Perfect place to practice your voices. Like all you're doing is talking all day to strangers.
You can be whoever you want.
Yeah, and even if you screw up or something, like they're gonna hang up on you.
Yeah,
anyway,
can you imagine them? Can you imagine them calling back and being like, "Yeah, no, this guy, like, okay, did you get his name? Oh, Rodney Dangerfield."
Yeah, it's Bernie Schwartz.
Yeah.
Bernie Schwartz from the pen company. Hello, wonderful.
Man, you would be great. Like, have you ever been on a radio show that does prank calls? Because you'd be fantastic.
No, I've never done that.
Because I know wasn't there a show called Crank Yankers? I feel like there's been some attempts of that, right? Like there's some versions of shows where they'll do like prank calls. Like, you'd be perfect for that.
Nobody's ever thought to ask me. I would love to do it. Although I don't think I'm as great on the fly as a lot of these people are.
Well, it's screwing around, not improv, right?
Right. If I call it screwing around, then I'm good. If I just call it messing with people,
there you go.
Then I'll be good. But if you say, the role requires good improv skills, I just go, and my nuts just slide up into me, and I'm sorry.
You flatline.
Oh God, that is an excellent place for us to. I just
you want to stop on my nuts?
Yeah, on your nuts. That's the bombshell that I want to end on.
We're gonna stop, Shaggy. That's it.
Don't stop until your nuts are in your mouth.
I've had
one, man.
More fun
Absolute
than I
pleasure.
deserve to have on this show. This is great. Thank you.
I'm very glad to hear that. Yeah.
Take care, you guys.
Have a good day.
Hey guys, wake up! Wake up! We just recorded the interview with Hans and Maurice.
Did you ask them to send help?
Oh, fuck! Fuck! Welcome to Space Hour, where each one of us is going to tell you a fantastic fact, except one of us is a dirty fucking liar. Guess who is lying? That is the game.
Okay, Jesus.
Shaggy, please calm down.
Jeez, you don't have to be so aggressive about it.
I'm nervous.
For everyone listening, this is the 18th time Shaggy's done that intro. He's sweating.
I am sweating, actually. Let me take off my hoodie. My Gryffindor sweatshirt.
That's a good idea. I gotta take off my Slytherin hoodie.
I'm slithering into your asshole. What's up, guys? Let's play Space Art. Okay, who's going first?
Shaggy, you go first.
Okay, fine. I'll go first. Okay, on April 16th, 1972, was the launch of Apollo 16. It is the second last manned flight to the moon. Now, one of the fun things that astronauts like to do at that point was they would kind of get contacted by delis or like other supermarkets, and they would say, like, we'll pay you a ton of money if you take this item up into space with you and eat it, and say you ate it in space, because then they would get people would want to buy and eat the food that was eaten in space. Anyway, there was a sandwich shop that astronaut Mike Dexter really fucking loved in New York, and he walked in and was like, I want to eat one of your sandwiches in space, and it was like, and he got a corned beef sandwich from 30 Rockefeller Plaza in New York City, and he went all the way to fucking Cape Canaveral, where he snuck it in his, like, he literally put it down the front of his shirt in his spacesuit and fucking launched with the sandwich on his chest. And unfortunately, they were stuck on due to complications, the fuel tanks were getting too hot, and they had to wait to cool them down, and they ended up spending about like 6 extra hours on the runway with the sandwich down his shirt. Eventually they launched, they're in space, and on the way to the moon, he kind of like pulls it out. And the other astronaut with him, John Young, he was a vegetarian, so it was only him and the other guy. He like kind of split the sandwich with him. The corned beef had gone off, and they ate the sandwich and it had gone off, and they both got food poisoning and had horrible diarrhea for the rest of the trip. Literally caking in lunar module with fucking diarrhea. Okay, but the Americans actually, this was a classified top level American secret that these guys actually shit their fucking suits in space. And it was only in 2015 that it got revealed that this is what happened, because they wanted to keep it a secret from the Russians because it would be embarrassing. But as a little inside joke, the crater that they eventually landed on to do the moon mission, okay, was called like XM12 something or other, and they actually named it Cornby because, as you would know it, the naming convention they use for craters on the moon is to name it after cities with a population less than 12,000 people, and Cornby in the UK is a city that fits that description. So they actually named the crater where they land Cornby after the sandwich that gave them the runs, as a little in joke. That is my space out fact. Look, it's a space fact and a shit fact. I mean, like, would you expect anything else from me?
Space, no one can hear you shit.
Horrible.
In space, no one can hear you fart and moan.
No one can hear you rub your stomach and shit.
In space, no one can hear you watch farting and moaning compilation number 12.
Well, anyway, that was my space out fact. Who's next?
Arnold, you go next.
Alright, so you know what a palindrome is, right?
Arnold's lying.
You know what a palindrome is?
No way no way Arnold knows a word that long.
A palindrome is a word that is the same backwards and forwards no matter what, right?
Like race car.
It's like the word Hannah.
Yeah.
And go hang a salami, I'm a lasagna hog.
Like poop.
So the human body makes palindromes.
Okay, Arnold, please explain.
Listen. They make palindromes. Like DNA is basically like a series of patterns and shit. I never took biology or anything. I was a wee youngin', so I don't actually know what I'm talking about. This is based off a conversation I had with a much more smart friend than me. But the way
a much more smart friend.
much smarterer friend.
A much more smarter friend.
The way he explained it, that the human genome is basically a series of code, right? And when a DNA sequence has a palindrome, the human body can actually get confused. It can be like, wait a minute, I don't recognize this. This is like in the wrong order, and they might actually start sequencing DNA backwards because of the palindrome, and you can develop cancer because of that.
Arnold, but if it's a palindrome, then it's the same way back and forth, so it doesn't matter if you do it backwards.
No, it does. It'll get confused. The human, it'll like glitch out, dude. It's like the fucking Matrix. There's a code there.
Arnold, if it reads it, that's the point of a palindrome. You can read it backwards, and it's the same way forward. So if it freaks out and reads it backwards, it'll still read it the right way because it's a palindrome.
I don't know. I think he's
because the letters are backwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
the palindromes just don't compute with human DNA. Look, Arnold, to clarify, you're talking about like the letters that are assigned to genetic code, right? Like
yeah.
TCG and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're saying that if there's a palindrome, if it gets read backwards, the body can freak out and read it backwards.
Yeah, and it can basically just develop into like a cancerous like clump cell. And the conversation kind of went where we're talking about like when people age, they basically just stop like generating, right? And they just slowly stop generating until it stops completely. And cancer is like the opposite of that, where it like generates too many fucking cells. It's an overload. And we came up with the term that death is what's the word?
Arnold, this is your segment. We don't know the word.
Yeah. He said that death is cancer insurance.
Cancer is death insurance?
No, that death is cancer insurance. That is the way of the body to not develop cancer. It just stops.
Is to die?
It just stops. It stops.
That's kind of stupid of...
I don't want to die of cancer. Better kill myself.
But that's literally what it is, though.
It's the only way out.
I'm not a doctor. That's all I'm saying.
That's crazy.
No, that's not how... Excuse me, sorry.
We're cutting that out.
Do not cut that out.
Do not cut that out.
No, listen. Cancer starts because your body reads "Do geese see God" backwards, and then it kills itself. That's what happens.
It reads Bloody Mary backwards and it kills itself.
It reads Red Rum backwards and then it murders itself.
Those aren't palindromes.
There we go.
None of those things you said were palindromes.
Do you know that?
Those are just things that were backwards.
An Immortalap, which is palindrome backwards, is the name of a word that spells another word when read backwards.
Immortalap.
That's a real. This isn't. I've already done my space out turn, so that is true.
This sounds like a false space out fact.
Look it up.
Yeah, if you spell diarrhea backwards, it comes out with sunglasses.
If you spell diarrhea backwards, it goes back inside of you.
You fucking moron. Okay, who's next? Hannah, it's your turn.
So I did a lot of research for this. I'm very excited to share my findings.
Hold on.
All right.
Okay, carry on. Sorry, I just gave everyone in the podcast coronavirus. Anyway, let's go. What is your Hannah? What is your space fact? Tell me.
Okay, my space fact is okay. So have you guys ever heard of a show called what's it called? SpongeBob SquarePants?
No. Yes.
Explain the synopsis.
Yeah, no. Okay, so for those of you who don't know about this little show, he lives in a pineapple under the sea and everyone loves him. But did you know that he's actually one of the most controversial political figures in this modern era? I bet you didn't. He has skeletons in his closet, and I'm going to share with you the ones that I found.
Gonna cancel SpongeBob.
This is a warning. Party. This is a call-out post for SpongeBob SquarePants.
This is me too.
Now, in the early 2000s, SpongeBob had already committed various sins. Alright, he was already in hot water for being used as an instrument for the homosexual agenda, because he was very popular among gay men, and a lot of Christian groups didn't like that. There was also a study saying that he caused ADHD in children because the scenes in SpongeBob changed so quickly, and there's been a few studies about that. There was also a study linking childhood obesity to fast food commercials. Some of them included SpongeBob. And one of the fast food commercials that included SpongeBob aired in 2009. It was a commercial by Burger King advertising a new wave of SpongeBob-themed kids' toys. And it consisted of the following. There was a dancing man wearing the Burger King mascot head. He was dancing. This is like a music video kind of thing. There were several sexy woman backup dancers dressed as SpongeBob with phone books stuffed in their skirts to resemble square butts. And playing over all of this was a cover of Sir Mix-a-Lot's "I Like Big Butts," except the only difference is that Big Butts was changed to square butts.
No, that's not.
That's a violent reaction.
I'm not done.
I remember this. I remember seeing this commercial.
No. Listen. The aforementioned Burger King mascot guy measuring the women's phone book asses with a 90-degree ruler. And one of the lyrics to this song, it was a cover, consisted of the line, "I'm tired of all these chairs. They don't accommodate these squares." This incredibly sexy video was called out and bashed by conservative and child welfare groups. They claimed that not only was SpongeBob promoting the consumption of junk food, he was also promoting the shameless sexualization of women, because the women were dancing, they were shaking their square asses. Basically, long story short, don't watch SpongeBob if you don't want your children to turn into gay, fat, sexy
children.
who are attracted to square asses.
This podcast does not condone gay, fat, sexy children.
Not yet, at least.
Okay, Goof, it is your turn.
Wow, what a fucking. Well, you guys kind of blow my facts out of the water. I was just gonna talk about JoJo.
In our first fucking podcast, you have to talk about fucking JoJo.
You guys talked about SpongeBob, okay?
I talked about SpongeBob. SpongeBob is a classic character. SpongeBob is a tool of the homosexual agenda.
So is JoJo.
I've seen Cooper when he talks about JoJo, and there's a fire that lights up in his eyes. I went to the supermarket with Cooper, and for like 5 minutes, he just talked about JoJo while we were waiting in line. It was his turn, and he was still talking about JoJo. He was telling the cashier about JoJo.
Wait, was this the cute cashier?
No, this was the ugly one. This was the ugly, stupid one.
Yeah, that's why she liked JoJo.
The ugly, stupid.
Coop, you can't call women stupid and ugly. You can't call our fearless frontline workers stupid and ugly.
Yes, I can. They were stupid and ugly.
Fearless frontline workers.
This was way before coronavirus. They weren't considered a hero yet.
She is putting her life on the line to bag your groceries.
Stupid.
Coop. You can't say that about her.
I can, and I will, and you can't stop me.
No.
Coop, what is your interesting JoJo fact?
What is your fucking fact?
What is your cool Joe joke?
I was going to introduce to you a few characters from this show. The first one.
God, I'm already clocked out.
Shut up. The first one comes from JoJo Part 7, Steel Ball Run. This part takes place in an alternate universe where shit is fucked.
Uh-huh.
In the far off year of the 1800s, there was a race across America for the high total of millions of dollars. But this race was just a farce, you see, because the President of the United States, the 27th President of the United States, Funny Valentine, had orchestrated it so that he could capture all of the parts of Jesus Christ's corpse, and he had to get these parts together so that he could take all of the bad juju in America and transfer them onto his enemies. So
the JoJo juju.
Back then, the genius that is Araki decided to create a character that wanted to capture the corpse of Jesus Christ so that he could make America great again. A treasure to this world. Well, not really, because it was a long time ago. He might be dead now.
I zoned the fuck out as soon as you started talking about JoJo. He could have told me fucking anything right now and I wouldn't have heard it. What?
Well, I'm not done. I wanted to talk about another character.
Oh my god, he's finally got us captive to tell us about fucking JoJo. We have to listen to him. Okay.
This is just a ploy to tell us about JoJo.
Shut up. I listened to your poop fact even though it made me gag and wheeze and kill myself.
Made me cringe.
And I want to talk about these anime characters and you kind of just like you just zone out. You think you can zone out? You want to talk about poop?
JoJo's
shit.
Bizarre Adventure. I haven't seen it, so you can make I've got no point of reference.
It doesn't matter.
What's the next JoJo fact? Tell me.
There's another character named Tsurugi Higashikata.
I'm sure there is.
And there is. I promise you. This isn't a joke.
Oh, so you're telling the truth then?
No, I'm saying it's not a joke. This is not a JoJo.
Okay, fine, go for it.
Anyway, in part 8, there's introduced this disease. It's called rock disease, and it turns your body into rock, and it's a very bad thing. It's like coronavirus.
Coop, that is so fucking.
And the sad thing about the Higashikata family is that the rock disease has affected all of the firstborn sons of each generation, and so the parents had to sacrifice themselves by eating a piece of fruit in order to save their children. So, in Tsurugi's case, their parents, when they were born, Tsurugi was born as a man, as a boy, as a cute little boy, and to ward off the rock disease, they decided to dress him as a girl and refer to him as a girl and raise him/her as a girl in order to trick this disease, in order to trick fate, in order to thinking oh, it's not a firstborn son, it's a daughter, so I'm not going to give them rock disease. Do you want to know how that pans out?
Does the little
yes.
He
boy
gets
get-
rock disease because it doesn't fucking work.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my-
it's almost like you can't
oh my
fucking you can't just
God.
like Mr. Magoo a fucking disease and dress them up.
It's called rock disease.
The child starts like fucking falls on the ground and spasming and he goes, "Mother, it hurts," and he gets tribal tattoos all over his body and he gets really buff. He goes, "Mother,
Mama.
I don't wanna die."
I'll leave this on one short other fact. In JoJo there's a stand named after Limp Bizkit.
You don't get 3 facts, Coop.
This one's short. There's a stand named after it's just named after Limp Bizkit. But in the English localization, because they can't get away with naming things after bands and songs, it's called Flaccid Pancake.
Flaccid Pancake. That's not real.
I've seen the Crunchyroll
That's not real.
Crunchyroll fucking renames for these fucking things. I totally believe that. I mean no, he's lying. He's lying.
I'm lying.
Okay,
I'm
guys.
lying.
Yeah, now we need to have a very loud, angry fight about who's the liar.
Shaggy's a liar.
Coop's
not-
a liar.
No,
Fuck you,
Shaggy's
Coop.
a fucking
you
liar.
can't talk about JoJo. Everything you say is a lie.
Why am I the fucking
There is
liar?
no
No,
fucking
no,
way.
Arnold's a
There's
liar.
no way that a corned
Arnold-
beef sandwich goes bad in 6 hours, and that gives you bad shitty diarrhea.
That's the unrealistic part.
That
is
is
it
the
doesn't go
unrealistic
bad in 6
part. Listen,
hours. It's not that they fucking shit themselves in space. They're astronauts.
You
they
can
have
shit yourself
they
in
have
space?
spacesuits. The whole point is that they can shit themselves, and it'll be fine.
No, Arnold. Another space fact, okay? Diarrhea doesn't work for the suit. They have to have solid, sturdy shits for them to be able to shit in their spacesuit. Also, when you're in the lunar module, you don't wear your fucking spacesuit, you moron. You wear shorts and a t-shirt, okay? It's only when you go onto the moon do you wear your fucking spacesuit and you can shit yourself in your spacesuit. When they're on the thing, they have to aim their asshole into a funnel. And fucking spraying liquid doesn't go well into the funnel, Arnold.
But there is no,
So they just shit all over
there is
their
no
hands.
way that the corned beef went bad in 6 hours against this man's
Dude, he
bleeding heart
didn't. It
chest.
didn't. It's not that it went off. It's that he just got shit beef. Like they gave him like crappy beef that was off, and he just got sick.
You can get bad beef.
Oh yeah, you got
You
bad
get
beef. You bring it out on the pod. That's what I have to say about that.
I got bad beef.
Meet me back,
got bad beef against all of
backstage
you.
of the pod.
Meet me backstage, shit in my mouth, Shaggy. I dare you.
Backstage beef, you know what I'm saying? I got a little backstage beef.
And also, Coop, you gotta remember that the sandwich came from New York.
Oh
All the
yeah,
way to
oh yeah.
fucking Cape
You want to see
Canaveral.
you want to talk shit about New York now, huh, big boy?
No, I'm just saying the sandwich had to travel quite a distance, and I don't know how long it took them. I don't know if it was the same day. They didn't have Amazon Prime in fucking 1972.
That's good because Amazon Prime is 2-day shipping.
We're saying that New York got shit beef.
Yes, that sandwich would have been fucked.
It seems like the sandwich was fucked.
He literally, the sandwich got flown across the United States so that he could hide it in his fucking shirt, okay? It was a bad
But
sandwich,
I don't-
and they all got the
But
shits.
the other,
Well, not all of them. The 2 of them got the shits. The one was a vegetarian and didn't eat the sandwich. I think Arnold's lying. Arnold's fucking lying.
I think.
Actually, you know what? I don't think Arnold's not
Arnold's
lying.
not
I just think
lying.
he misunderstood what he's talking about.
Listen.
I don't think he's a
He's a
liar. I
liar
just
by
think he was
proxy.
fed bad information because that smart friend that he was talking about is not also did not take biology. He's a math major.
No, it's just that
Dang.
the amount of genome, the amount of like shit in a fucking DNA strand is so fucking long. The odds of it being the same way backwards as it is forwards, okay, is so astronomically minute. Like, how would that even happen?
But it does
Like,
happen.
it's so
It
rare.
does happen, and people have
Well,
gotten
when it does
cancer
happen,
from
you
it.
get cancer, Shaggy.
No, Arnold, because how the fuck, if you get cancer, they don't look at your cancer and be like, ooh, it looks like your DNA is a pallet.
No, I
and
think
that's why you.
No,
have
no, I
cancer.
think no. Here's what I think. No, here's what I think happened. I think Arnold was reading an article about Steve Jobs, and he misread pancreatic cancer as palindromic cancer.
Palindromic cancer.
Palindromic cancer.
I think if Cooper's gonna talk about JoJo, he wouldn't waste his time making up lies about it because he just really wants to talk about JoJo. I think what he
I
was
don't
talking
know.
about is true.
I don't know.
I verify that what Hannah
Okay,
says
well then who's the liar?
is true. I'm looking at it right now.
No, you can't Google
You
Arnold.
can't-
That's
Arnold, you
breaking the
can't look at-
rules.
You
could just Google astronaut
you
Mike
never said that was
Dexter to
against
see
the
if I'm
rules. You
lying.
never said that after we were done. We can like look it up.
No, we're supposed
thought it
to.
was
The fun is us
implied.
arguing and like fucking using our own knowledge to figure it
Shaggy's
out.
a liar.
Close Google,
Shaggy's
dude.
a liar. It's Shaggy. He's quaking in his boots right now.
I just want to point out that if you'd ever watched 30 Rock, okay, and also you got a sandwich from 30 Rockefeller Plaza, which is the NBC studio where they filmed Conan O'Brien in the 30 Rock show. 30 Rock, and also Liz Lemon always talks about her imaginary boyfriend, astronaut Mike Dexter. So yes, I am the liar. Also, there is a creator named Corned Beef, but it's not named after a corned beef sandwich. It's named after corned beef porridge. You fucking morons. And that concludes Space Out.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, so I think isn't it time to do our Q&A?
I guess so.
It's time for a Q&A. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-dun.
I posted a tweet on my Twitter account recently asking for the lovely viewers and followers of mine and ours to ask us questions. And we got some really good ones that we're going to answer right now. So yeah, what should we start with? Let's see. What do we have here?
Okay, this question comes from @ActuallyRay. They're asking, is Shaggy actually a virgin? Yes or no? Yes.
Hey, no, it's not true. You're lying.
No, you're a virgin, dude. You got virgin energy. Never Nova asks, gamer? Question mark?
Gamer? Well, at Nevernova. No. Video games cause violence.
Video games are for losers.
I played a video game for about half an hour, and then I stopped playing and I looked at Coop, and he looked really sexy, and it made me scared because I think video games make you gay. So I don't play video games anymore.
That's really weird. That's really weird that you say that, Shaggy, because I was playing Meat and Fuck games on Newgrounds.com, and then I looked at you and I was like, wow.
I was playing Battle for Bikini Bottom, and I looked up and I was like, I want to battle for Coop's bottom.
I'd get into Coop's Bikini Bottom.
Anna, that's your fucking colleague. Don't talk about him like that.
I'm
Jesus.
sorry. Coop, I'm sorry if I offended your radio uncomfortable.
Yeah, thanks for sticking up for me, Shaggy. Let's go kiss.
Bro, don't stop. Don't stop.
Bro, we are teens. It's okay to kiss.
That's so uncomfortable. I wasn't expecting that.
Okay, we've made it one question deep so far.
I want to answer this one. Tom asks, how did you all feel after posting episode 1? What was the mood like?
Like I'd been shot. Like I'd been shot in the chest.
We were empty. We were empty and barren, and we felt like we'd just been carrying a child inside of us for 13 months, and then all of a sudden it got born, and we didn't know what to do next.
Everything that I did from waking up to going to bed was organizing Satina, like getting shots to people, editing the stuff in, coloring shots and stuff like that. And eventually we just uploaded it, and all of a sudden it was like, we're done.
It didn't quite settle in yet. Like, are we actually done? No, there must be like a few other things we need to fix, but no, we were done.
It was like, in movies when people are in a car accident, and they're all dazed, and you just hear that.
Yeah.
That's what it was like for all of us. We're just sitting there, it was.
I think it's very apt to attribute the production of Satina to a tumbling car crash.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
That ends in a giant explosion that deafens all of us for a few weeks.
Immediately after it was done, I just fucking zonked out. I went to the Shadow Realm and I slept for days.
Oh, this is a pretty cool. From @RadicalRadRedhead says, do ScumHouse have any other planned pilots or shorts, or is Satina the main focus at the moment?
Well, Radical Redhead, we have a bunch of other pilots in the works.
I just want to put a little bit of flavor on that. One of the pilots we're working on, made by a wonderful showrunner called Fart, who is a very close and dear friend of ScumHouse, and we are making his pilot, and it is a comedy about groovy 70s styled pirates sailing the seven seas. Yeah, and then we got Coop's one. Coop, why don't you tell them a bit about your upcoming pilot?
My show that I'm working on, my little baby boy of a show, is called Monster Squadron, and it is the amazing brainchild of mine where I thought one day while driving down the side of the road, I thought, wait a minute, what if I made Power Rangers, but instead of the Power Rangers and a giant robot, they were instead monsters that fought giant robots? And then I rushed home, I crashed my car into the side of the road, and I walked all the way back inside, and I contacted Shaggy, and I was like, I have this fantastic idea. And he said yes.
Yes. Make the fucking show.
Yes. That's what he said.
Funny.
That's what he said. It was over text and it was all lowercase, but I understood his meaning. But
it reverberated all the way from South Africa.
It's an amazing.
There are some other ones, but they're in like the baby production stages of just like doing like thumbnails and writing scripts and stuff like that. But we have the means to slowly be producing more and more content. Because I mean, if we only ever put Satina stuff on our channel, you'd get a new video like every year, or between every 6 months and a year. So we want to have more content from like other creators, and we're looking to make like a really cool channel that has like a lot of different cartoons on it, and hopefully they're all as good as Satina.
Right.
We're trying to make the new Smosh cartoons.
Salty Asian asks, how did you guys meet up?
Oh, we're doing origin stories.
Yeah.
Grindr.
Yeah, we all met on Grindr.
Me and Shaggy met in like a Psychic Pebbles server. Pretty sure that was where we met.
The Smiling Friends, the Smiling Friends there was a little channel in that Psychic Pebbles server about collaboration, and I saw Arnold's art, and I thought, damn, this guy's got some good shit. And I had a project I was working on at the time, and I got some change together, and I said, hey, can you please make stuff for me? And we struck up a good friendship. And then the same thing happened with Coop. Eventually, Arnold browses the comics and art board on 4chan quite a lot, and someone had posted an image that Hannah had posted on her Twitter, which was like the very first thing she'd ever posted publicly about Satina, and we thought, oh my god, okay, this is going to be big. And we contacted her, and we tricked her into thinking that we were actually a proper studio. But to be completely honest, we literally just reached out to Hannah, and we're like, we really like your thing, we're completely new to this as well, but like, can we help you make this into like a full show? We think it has the ability to be something really special. And she, for whatever reason, I think just because she's very stupid, thought, okay, let me bring on these two complete strangers to help me with this. And turns out we became very good friends, and here we are.
That's a strong word.
We like to have fun here.
Yeah, these guys are my very, very good friends, and I owe a lot to my artistic growth for them reaching out to me. And obviously, none of this would have happened if they hadn't taken the chance on me and been like, oh, yeah, do you want to... We can help you make this. And I'm just going to be forever grateful that they did that.
Aww.
Hannah, you took a chance on us. There was literally no reason for you to be like, yeah, these randos, these literally who's, yeah, I'm gonna work with them for like a year, you know?
Okay, I think we got time for just a few more questions. There's one here that I really like. If you could get anyone, who would you want for a special musical guest episode? And we've actually talked about this. I think it was just Hannah and I said it in passing, but we really want to work with Danny Sexbang for a musical episode.
I mean, I think he's a cool dude. Yes, I saw him in concert once.
Very
he was
radical.
Very, very radical.
Okay, this is a cumulative. A lot of people ask this. When is episode 2?
When is episode 2? It's coming. It's coming.
Well, I'm working on it.
We are not going to promise any dates because
we've done that before and it didn't work at all.
We've done that before and it has failed spectacularly. It came out almost a half a year later than I anticipated.
So just know that we are making Satina episode 2. Expect it to take as long as it took for the first one. If it comes out sooner, then that's just a bonus.
But in the meantime, we are going to work on other stuff too, so you will not be bored. Our channel will not be empty. Thank you.
I like to suck bees asks, do you want to do something that isn't animation related? Also, I love your style. Reminds me of Tom and Jerry. I really want to get into music. I used to take music classes when I was a kid, and we actually have some stuff here. Our mutual friend has guitars and stuff, and I practice on and off on that, and I used to mainly do piano stuff, and I've really wanted to actually sit down and really learn it and really start producing some songs at some point.
I have a few things that I would have as a backup if I for some reason could not do art. One of them is I want to write. I've always wanted to write books. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with art. I guess it could be an art form.
Oh, I think they said
animation. If it's not art related,
but
yeah, I like to write. I think I'm okay at it. I just need to do it more. It's just a matter of flexing my writing muscles.
You guys aren't allowed to laugh at me when I say this, but if I couldn't do animation for whatever reason, I think I'd want to go in a stand-up.
That's not. I don't. You've told me that before. I think that's a great idea.
Shaggy, I think you I
think that's it.
Hold on your
it's a stupid
hold on
idea.
yourself well enough that you don't crack under pressure, that you could actually I could see you doing good stand up.
I could also see him doing bad stand-up.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
And that was questions and answers.
Wait, I didn't get to answer my thing.
Oh fuck. Okay.
What? What do you want to do, Coop? Jesus.
I want to make visual novels.
Coop, what kind of visual novels, dude?
What kind of visual novels, Coop?
Dude, Coop, like sexy ones? Like sexy ones?
No, like Lucia Dating Simulator coming soon.
That isn't a joke. Lucia Body Pillow and Lucia Dating Sim, they're gonna come out at the same time.
Those are real, my friend.
And it'll be programmed by yours truly because I know how to use Renpai.
And it'll be written by yours truly because I know how to be sexy.
Hey, thanks for sticking through PodScum. Things are winding down, and after losing half of your brain cells for the last hour or so, I think we could all use a little bit of KinoTherapy. This is just the part in the show where we sit down and we talk about stuff that we really enjoy and recommend something for people to check out after the podcast is done.
Arnold, what's something crazy that you're into lately? Like every time I'm at the dishwasher washing dishes for hours on end, you always come in and talk about something. What was that thing that you wanted to talk about?
Well, there was one thing I wanted to bring up now. Marcel Jankovic. He's this Hungarian filmmaker who has made a lot of animated stuff over the years. He's done a lot of shorts, and one of the things he did a while back was called The Tragedy of Man. Good stuff. Some actually like really good artistic like animation used to its fullest to like immerse yourself in that aesthetic. But that's not what I'm recommending, although you should watch that. Recently, an old film of his from the 80s called The Son of the White Mare has been recovered. For ages, the actual print of it was fucked. The colors were completely off, and the whole movie is actually like Samurai Jack, where it doesn't have any outlines or anything. It's just all in color. And also like Samurai Jack, it is a very mythological sort of story about a man whose mother is a horse, and he gets magical powers by drinking milk from the horse's teeth. That's how it starts. And it goes. It goes. I distinctly remember that he talked about the movie. At the time, in the Eastern Bloc, a lot of people couldn't look at art without being like, oh, this means like this kind of weird political meaning. Oh, you have to read into it. This means that. And it was a very like tense time for a lot of artists. And he just wanted to make something that was so fucking bizarre and out there that it would be impossible for someone to actually project some kind of agenda to it. And the end result is this fucking crazy collage of interesting imagery and like Hungarian folklore and mythology, and it's good. It's good stuff. Just check it out. Marcel Jankovic's entire filmography, Kino.
I want to recommend a game that I've played recently called Hylix 2, the long-awaited sequel to Hylix. Hylix is a bizarre, very, very interesting and charming RPG game where you play as Wayne, a guy going through the world, and he has to defeat the Moon King Gibby. I know.
Any relation to the
Gibby!
You know, that guy?
No relation to iCarly. No relation to
No
that.
relation.
Tell us what Hylix 2 is.
The charm of Hylix comes from the art style of the game, where it's all sprites created from clay, photographed and filtered in, and it's probably the most like, you've probably seen pictures of it if you look around like crazy weird games, but the style is just something to absolutely die for. It looks amazing. The gameplay is just like standard RPG stuff, but it's a really good game. But I highly recommend it. Search up Hylix 2 on itch.io. There's a password on it. Password's burrito. Once you get past that little hurdle, it's $15, and it's an amazing game. You're welcome.
Okay, the thing that I would like to recommend is a Sega Genesis game from all the way back 1995 called Comic Zone. It's a Sega Genesis game. Get it on an emulator or whatever, or buy it for like $15 on eBay. It's about Sketch Turner, a comic book artist who gets transported into the panels of his own comic book, and it's a beat 'em up that takes place in the panels of the comic book, and you can like throw characters through the borders, and it's a very short game because they just packed it with so many art assets and little animations and stuff like that, but it honestly feels like you're in a comic book, and nothing's ever been done like that since. Probably one of the most interesting and cool games I've played in recent memory, and I would genuinely recommend that you try it out if you're a fan of comic books. Even if you're not a fan of video games, it's like a different way of experiencing a comic book, and the soundtrack freaking slaps.
It slaps my nuts.
I listen to the OST every day while I'm working because it's so good. It's like grunge Anamanaguchi. I don't know how to explain it. That is my recommendation.
You guys are recommending really cool things. Really well-crafted things. I want to talk about We're Back, a Dinosaur Story.
Anna, fuck off.
You little shit. You little fucking shit.
Okay, listen. Hear me out. So I watched it recently.
Were you intoxicated?
I just want to share it because I don't have anyone else to talk about it with. Okay, so it was one of my favorite movies as a kid. My mom got it for me on VHS from God knows where. I love dinosaurs a lot. I had a lot of books about them. I knew a lot of fun facts about them. I had little plastic ones. I'm not sure where my dinosaur love started from, but I think this movie was the catalyst for that. This movie is kind of the epitome of, like, you know, when you're a little kid, you just watch stuff that's presented to you and you just accept it. You're like, yeah, this is fine. This is what I did with this movie. It was like one of the first movies I recognized emotional stakes and felt empathy for the characters in a talking dinosaur movie. It was also one of the first movies that scared the shit out of me. So the plot of the movie is it's about this guy, Captain New Eyes, who's kindly old time traveler in the spaceship alongside this annoying little green alien who's voiced by Jay Leno for some reason. And he has this machine that can tune into children's deepest, most sincere wishes. And can you guess what every kid from the 90s is wishing for the most? It's dinosaurs. So, like, instead of wishing for, like, Nintendo games, they want dinosaurs. So, what Captain New Eyes does, he travels back to prehistoric times, he snatches up dinosaurs, gives them drugged cereal, and turns them into cartoon characters so that they don't kill children.
Are you you're recommending this to people? You don't give away the whole plot.
Hang on, wait. Is this KinoTherapy or is this Space Out? Because I don't know if you're lying.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, they drop the dinosaurs onto New York City. They pick up children. They go to the circus. There's a scary guy at the circus who scared the shit out of me as a kid. He has a screw for an eye. He's called Captain Screw Eyes, and he's the evil brother of Captain New Eyes. And then you gotta watch to find out what happens next. It's very emotional. And it'll sit with you for a long time if you're 5 years old and you're watching it on your VHS player.
I just want people to know that this movie, it literally says on the poster, it says Steven Spielberg presents We Are Back, a Dinosaur Story. So it's the same man who brought you E.T. and Schindler's List.
Exactly. The man who created Schindler's List also created We're Back, a Dinosaur Story. No, but that movie's really scary though. It's actually like really dark. Like, you think it's a funny talking dinosaur movie, but it's really fucking dark.
Yes, it's by the same guy who brought us Schindler's List.
Exactly.
What else did you expect?
I wanted to say that I was reading up on this movie because I loved it so much like 10 years ago. I was like, oh, how did this get conceptualized? It was just a big train wreck. Like, they switched directors like halfway through, so it's very disjointed. They got like a script writer that was like, oh yes, this is my magnum opus, and then other people were like, this dialogue sucks. He got really mad. So it was just like a big mess of a movie. Also, Steven Spielberg, he casted like 3 different people for Captain Screw Eyes, and one of them was Christopher Lloyd, who is Doc Brown in Back to the Future. He did his lines, and then Steven Spielberg was like, I don't like these, and then he changed voice actors, and it cost him thousands of dollars, and everyone was like, all right,
Only
Steve.
thousands of dollars.
Only
Yeah.
thousands. Cost him $12 and his left shoe.
Wait, guys, we've all recommended our thing now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.
If I have to hear you talk about JoJo for one more minute, I'm going to squeeze your head till you stop moving.
Fuck you, Shaggy! JoJo is the Citizen Kane of anime!
Stop screaming about JoJo!
What the hell is a JoJo? It's been 6 hours of this. Good Lord, I spent millions to acquire these clowns?